You're setting a dangerous precedent here.
Don't do it.
I you know,
You know what happens every time I do is the da 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 da. It's like your sister Rose is dead, and that's why I have no friends, because this is what I think.
you know the good old joke.
I do. Problem is nobody else does,
Well,
and then
they're
it's just
they're
very lonely.
lost.
It's
They're lost.
it's a very lonely time. I'll tell. I don't know if you're in the kitchen when I was telling Pete about the whole MAME thing. Were you in there when I was? Again, just very lonely. It's a lonely life when you're raised by older parents and surrounded by older friends, and all you know are older jokes and older movies and older music. Just because it means that when you are with someone your age, and you hear and you try to explain to them why you're having a reaction, and you just go, it's that, you know what, once you have to explain it, it's not funny anymore. It's just not funny anymore. Hello, thank you guys, happy birthday, thank you so much, I appreciate it. I cannot believe I've lived this long. Not quite sure how that happened. Was never the plan.
Picture me, the father,
you the father
of this one here.
of me.
How do I have a daughter who's 38 years old?
How
did that happen?
How dare you? I've never been 38 a day in my life. Today's the first day. Today's my first day of being 38, and it's okay so far. I can work with it. I think I'm all right. So far, so good. Haven't killed anybody yet. Again, it's early still, but you have to dream big. Yeah, I always really like sharing my birthday with Father's Day time. It works well for us as a family. Particularly amusing because my godfather's birthday is tomorrow. So my godfather's birthday is the 17th. My birthday is the 16th. And then Father's Day always happens somewhere in there. So every year we all celebrate together.
Which we did last night.
My godparents were here last night. We had dinner. Daisy only screamed for about 90% of it, which is great. We used to all go out. This was a big thing for all of us. We'd go out, and I finally said, guys, we're not going out anymore. Not until Daisy can sit in a restaurant, because I end up spending the entire dinner chasing her around. And it's just no fun. So I put my foot down. So now everybody just comes here, and then we can enjoy ourselves, and it's lovely. I will tell. So what I was starting to say before about MAME, as you've joined us, yesterday was one of the little girls in our play group. She turned 2, and it was her birthday party yesterday. And as I'm standing in the backyard with all these other parents, they're playing sort of, it's like Muzak for kids, where it's just sort of, they kidify all these different songs. Well, the only way I can kind of describe it is it's this like honking noise. It was going burp, 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 burp. And I go, is that MAME? Are they playing MAME right now? And all of the moms and dads go, what's MAME? And I was like, just fucking shoot me. Just shoot me.
Oh, dear.
And it keeps going. And
Pop culture meltdown.
And I am having a moment because I'm going, why are they playing MAME? Who decided we should make MAME into a kid's recording? What is going on? And I go over to the birthday girl's dad, and I was like, do you know that this is MAME? And everyone just keeps going, what's MAME? And I was like, I'm okay. So, but I knew I was going to see my godfather last night, and I knew that he would be entertained by this.
Yeah.
And so I told him,
which he was. He
understood. So thankfully, I had someone to talk to, because I was just all alone going, it's MAME. I don't know who thought it was a good idea, but it was hilarious and very lonely. I say, I don't know how many of you grew up the way that I did, which is mostly around adults. It meant that I spent my young years into my teen years into my 20s constantly being told that I'll meet my friends when I'm older. When I was really young, they'd say, when you get to college, you'll meet people who understand you, and it'll be great. And then I got to college, and it still didn't happen. And they said, you know what? Later in life, you'll meet people who like what you like. The answer is no. I should just go and hang out with the old people who understand me. that is the
Well,
best option.
when you were at AMDA, you did meet.
I did. I went to a musical theater conservatory for a while, and that was glorious because
those were your people.
they were my people. They still are. They still are my people.
Yep.
My godfather is a writer and film critic and reporter named Pete Hammond, and he hosts events all the time. He moderates multiple events every day.
More Q&As than you could shake a fist at.
Yeah, he writes for Deadline. He's been doing this a very long time, and he's my dad's best friend.
We met at Entertainment Tonight.
Yep.
In 1982.
Mm-hmm.
I started working there. And
he and his wife Madeline are my godmother and godfather, and they're wonderful and hilarious, and I'm very, very lucky. I don't think you saw the picture of the three of you. We took a picture of my dad, my husband, and Pete.
They were all wearing that today. I was going to wear it today.
You know what? Next week. You'll wear it next week, and they'll enjoy it. I got my dad a Donald Duck shirt for Father's Day, and he looked very adorable.
A great Donald Duck shirt.
Yes, it was a great Donald Duck shirt. You're right. Oh, Mercy's calling me. I will call her back. Anyway, how are you guys? Happy Father's Day to everyone who is Father's Daying. If you're here in sunny Southern California, it is hot as hell and we are hiding indoors, but it is a beautiful day for Father's Day. And thank you all. Thank you all, dads. You're pretty swell. So we appreciate you. Jesse, as a matter of curiosity, are you familiar with a vocalist named Angela Bofill? I don't know. I do not know. She died a few days ago. I didn't know who she was, and I don't know who she is, and I'm sorry, and I can look her up. Yes, yesterday was ridiculous. Yesterday, as I say, for the 2-year-old birthday party, the kids were all just in this little pool, and it was very adorable while the parents just melted and enjoyed them, which is always fun. So movie-wise.
But a whole lot of people went.
Now it's your turn. There we go.
A whole lot of people went inside where it was air conditioned. They went to the movies to see Inside Out 2, which had a smashing opening. Well, still having a smashing opening weekend. And that's a good thing. It's good for movie going. It's good to get people back into the water, back into the habit,
the routine of it,
movie going. And it's a film that, is kid friendly and family friendly. And so, and last weekend, a lot of people showed up for Will Smith and Martin Lawrence in the Bad Boys movie.
They did.
So, those are good signs. Yeah. And I really, I'm rooting for movie going.
Yeah, of course you are. Let me just say happy Father's Day to you, Dane. Please hug Poppy for us. Hi, Nicole. Thank you. Please give Mark a big hug and your dad too. Grand Dude. May Grand Dude have a very happy day. Ken says, wishing me a happy birthday and a happy Father's Day to you. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's how movie theaters always do well, is in the summer. Well, that's exactly it, isn't it?
Come on in, it's cool inside.
Honestly,
I remember those banners.
Yeah,
they hang from the marquee.
But that's the whole thing, isn't it? Is it, part of summer is going to see movies. It's being inside in the air-conditioned movie theater with your friends. And I'm always really pleased when I see that theaters are busy. Yeah. Obviously, I want them busy year-round, but yeah. It's always a good thing when something brings you out.
So here's my latest movie-going story. 2 weeks ago, I was invited, my wife and I were invited to a press screening, a media screening, as they call it, an all-media screening, as they call it, of the new Disney release called Young Woman and the Sea, starring Daisy Ridley as Gertrude Ederle, the first woman to swim the English Channel back in the 1920s.
And she's Jewish, so go team.
And she appeared in a film called Swim, Girls, Swim, starring Bibi Daniels. And she was like a celebrity playing herself in the movie. So I was curious about this film. But that day, it was in Burbank. It wasn't far. but I just wasn't feeling 100%. Didn't have a good night's sleep the night before. I was tired.
You're still getting over your cold.
Blah,
all
blah,
those
blah.
things.
And I said, oh, I don't know if I have the energy to do this, So we didn't go. And I immediately regretted the decision because I knew that not going to this scheduled screening meant I would have to have the initiative to go at another time when it opened on that Friday.
But you did it.
Yeah. Well, so what happened was Thursday.
You did it.
Thursday, I'm sitting around the house, I think is the expression. And I look up the film to see where it's playing. I went to IMDb for one of the useful things, and it was playing in like 5 theaters, not far from us. And then I clicked from Thursday to Friday. It was gone. Vanished. No place to see it in the theater on Friday. No place. Well, I later learned from Pete that was the plan all along.
Yeah.
It was actually intended to debut on Disney Plus. And Jerry Bruckheimer, the producer, who has a fair amount of clout, said, no, you got to open it in the theaters first. So he got 2 weeks. They gave him 2 weeks to get the movie out in theaters. And I was looking at the schedule at 3:30 in the afternoon Thursday. And the last screening in our neighborhood theater, the Lemley NoHo 7, was at 4:10. I said to my wife,
let's go.
Let's go. It's the most spontaneous thing we've done in ages.
400 years. It's been 400. But you did. You called down. You said, hey, Mommy and I are going to go see this movie. And you got out of the house and you did it. And you made it. And you enjoyed it.
Yes, I did.
You enjoyed the movie.
Yes, I did. And I recommend it.
Yeah.
Now you can watch it
at home, which is great.
And it's a very good film. It's a good biopic.
And then you and Mommy went and saw Inside Out 2. Several people are mentioning it.
Yep.
And actually, sorry, one second. I want to go back up because it's really interesting. There are a number of people I've heard this from. Sean is saying, I work with adults with IDD, and Inside Out 2, many on the spectrum, is the most anticipated film of the summer. I've heard that from more than one friend who works with folks like that who deal with those. And yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people, and I hope that they enjoy it. I hope it works for them. There's been a real mixed response. Yes, Mark Ender says, but the most important thing they saw last week was me. That is true, Mark. What really matters is that my parents abandoned me and the baby to go see you because you matter more than we do. And I've come to understand and accept that. So, fair. But yeah, you guys liked Inside Out 2, did not love.
Yes, liked it. I really liked Inside Out. I thought Inside Out was one of Pixar's best films of all the Pixar movies. Which
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked what they were doing in that film.
Yeah.
My problem with I could sum it up. My problem with Inside Out 2, it's a sequel.
That's what you said to me. Yeah.
Like all sequels, it doesn't have the freshness of the premise. We already know the premise. We know that anger and, sorrow or whatever the other ones are. I haven't memorized.
Happy,
all
sad,
the emotions.
confused,
right.
Stressed.
Yep.
Overworked, underpaid. Yeah, they're all in there. They're all in there somewhere.
So they've added 3 new emotions.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Zachary's saying, I saw more people in the theater for Inside Out 2 than all my theater going experiences all last year.
Yes. Well, the numbers are bearing that out.
I mean, this is Pixar. There have not been that many kid movies, certainly not kid movies that everybody wants to see. So yeah, this is where I'm happy to have Disney come out with something. I'm happy to have Pixar come out with something because I do think it's really important to get into the theater. And it's true as well that all of us or most of us have fallen off sort of our regularly scheduled programming of going to the movies. We spoke about this a little bit last week, but when I was growing up, my parents were out pretty much every night of the week seeing movies. That was very normal.
Going to screenings, going to press screenings.
And then my husband and I, we would go at least once a week, like at the very least once a week we'd go. And, now obviously a huge part of it is Daisy. I don't go to movies, but, it is something that I miss. It's something that I enjoyed so much. And that's, I think it's hard. It's hard to sort of lose something that you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
I do it, we enjoy getting our popcorn. We enjoy doing
Right.
all of that sitting
Right.
down in our theater. And again, because we usually could go at off hours, it meant that it wasn't crazy busy. So yeah.
Well, we were one of 5 people
Yeah.
in the theater for the last. It was so funny. It was the last screening.
The last possible
the last
screening
day
of The Woman Who Swam in the Sea.
Yeah.
A bunch. Dogs on the prowl. Thank you, Becca. I miss you guys, and I would like to see you soon, please. That's a big deal for Pixar because Pixar did so poorly with Lightyear. Yeah, it's, again, it's tough, isn't it, with filmmakers like the folks at Pixar. They have had some hits that are not just hits; they're like global sensation.
Yes. That have entered the domain of pop culture.
Yeah.
Permanently.
Hugely popular movies that adults want to see, that kids want to see, that you then want to share with your family, with your friends, all of that. And the last couple, over the last few years, none of them have really done that. And I was thinking about that with Elemental. Even, we didn't love, what's it called? Not jazz. What's it called?
Oh, yeah. Soul.
Thank you. We didn't really love Soul. So yeah, it's been a little while.
Then there was the one that was released just as COVID was beginning.
Oh, which I really do like.
Which is a really good one.
I really like that one.
Let's name it.
What's it called? It's one word.
Onward.
Further, onward. Like further, is it for onward? I really liked Onward. And I made the mistake of watching it on the airplane. I watched it on the airplane when my dad broke his shoulder and I had to fly to Atlanta to fetch him, to retrieve him from the hospital. And it was during COVID. So I'm pregnant on a plane wearing a mask. It's COVID, watching Onward, weeping into my mask. And just like, I can't really blow my nose. It was like, this is so beautiful. And I was dying. And when I got to Atlanta, I said, I watched Onward, but it was really hard. I think it's a really beautiful movie that just unfortunately, because of COVID, kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
What was that? Is it red? Turning Red. There you go.
Turning Red's pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad for its success. I'm happy for its success.
Yeah.
And it's worth seeing. It's
Luca. No, it's not that they haven't made some that are good. It's that they haven't had anything that's gone kablooey in a while. They haven't had something where everybody said, you need to go see this movie. You need to go see it in a theater. You need to see it now. No, look, I like a lot of Pixar movies. Obviously they did really, really well with Encanto. Is that Pixar? See, that's the thing. To be honest with you, I really can't remember which is which or when they're the same. Yeah. Because in my brain, they're the same, which I know they are not, but it's just, no, there's a lot that I like. I think Coco and Encanto are probably the two most recent animated ones that made a really big impact because they spoke to an audience that hadn't necessarily had something for them.
And they were authentic.
Yeah.
And they really steeped themselves in the culture they were depicting.
Yeah.
And they had a big advisory board.
Oh, yeah.
As they did with Pacific Islanders on Moana.
Yes.
Same thing.
They're doing Moana as live action.
Oh.
I know.
Oh.
I know. I'm looking forward to it just because I think of them, it's one that at the very least is the closest to being able to be made live action. Because at least they're humans. No, but you know what I mean? Yeah,
they're not animal characters. They're not anthropomorphized animals.
They're not anthropomorphized. Say that 5 times fast.
It's true.
The Toy Story. I know, exactly. A lot of folks are mentioning Toy Story. Is it possible to rank the Toy Story films? Because I don't think it is. I don't even... I guess because we don't like lists in general.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of what order to put them in. I will always love the first one because it's the first one,
Right.
you know.
And I love the second one because it's that rare bird, a
Yeah.
sequel that's just as good, if not better,
Yeah.
than the original.
And you get Jessie the yodeling cowgirl, which obviously for me,
Right.
very important.
Right. And it has a wonderful, well, it has some inside jokes.
Yeah.
But my favorite inside jokes that they talk about how they didn't have the toys ready.
Yeah. Which,
Toy
if you
Story
know,
came out.
is hilarious. My mom always talks about this. When The Little Mermaid came out, Disney did not know what was going to happen and the explosion it was going to have. And they didn't have merch. And, you know, my mom always said every little kid was going, I want Little Mermaid. And there was no Little Mermaid to be had.
But as soon as there was,
I had all of it.
Bed sheet, pillow,
my whole bedroom. They're also, yes, they're doing Moana, an animated Moana 2 later in the year. And they have most of the original cast because they've had Auli'i Cavallo doing press for it.
Okay.
It's been a whole thing. They're making her wear a wig. So she, Auli'i Cavallo, she is very proudly queer and was doing a lot of promo stuff for Mean Girls because she was in that new Mean Girls. That's the filmed version of the musical stage show, except not, but big mistake. But she has this very short, hot pink hair. And I guess because she's now doing all the stuff for Moana, I've seen the videos that she's wearing this very dark wig and like no makeup, and they've covered her tattoos. And some folks are making a fuss. And I go, look, they know who they're talking to. And she does too. She's not stupid. You know, they want to make it as comfortable for parents as possible. And they may not be prepared to have certain conversations. And I think that's okay. How do we feel about remakes? Would you believe there are plans to make An Officer and a Gentleman from 1982? Look, we were just talking about this right before we started, actually, because you and Mommy just watched Monk.
Oh no, yeah, but it's also we're watching Presumed Innocent.
No, I know, but we're saying because of Monk and then Presumed Innocent. Why are they?
Monk is a reboot.
But that's what I'm saying. Why are they bringing back these shows? Have they finally just admitted that they have nothing else? Hey, we need Frasier again. Mind you, we loved Frasier. I loved Frasier. But it's like, you're bringing it back. You bring back Will and Grace. Like, so are we just saying that we have no new ideas? And then with movies, it's a similar kind of a thing where you go, again, surely there must be other ideas. And let's look at the track record. Very few of these remakes have been good or have had audiences come to see them.
Well,
they just did Roadhouse. Nobody cared. Who needed a reboot of Roadhouse?
Well, same may be said of The Fall Guy.
Well, yeah.
How many of today's target demo have ever seen the Lee Majors show from the early 80s?
No.
You know, it's get real.
Is weird. Bring back a reincarnation of the Larry Sanders Show. I would watch that.
If only.
I would watch that.
If only one could.
But this is what I mean, though. Leave Mad Men dead. But that's what I mean, Josh. You know, it's like, I don't know. I just feel like you kind of go, is this really it? Do you just feel like you have to reboot shows that you know people already liked? And the reason the answer in some cases is yes, is that they're spending so much money that they're terrified of not making it back. But to me, then the logical response would be, I should spend less money. Like, wouldn't that make the most sense? Is instead of making another movie for $100 billion, make a lower budget so that when you make your money back, you don't have to kill yourself. Like, I don't get, the logic doesn't logic, and it throws me because surely that would do the trick. You know what I mean?
Well, yes.
Spend less, and then you don't have to make as much to get it back.
That's what Woody Allen did for years and years and years. He didn't pay himself much of a salary.
Think about all the indie films, though. I mean, that's the whole thing.
And Alexander Payne
told
me that when he made Sideways, he and Jim Taylor optioned the book, which I don't think had been published yet.
Right.
And hired a producer who did a cost, estimate. And then they sold the package for, I think, $16 million. And And the whole idea was, all we have to make back is $16 million plus whatever advertising, promotional money is spent.
But $16 million to a studio is nothing for the insane amounts that they spend now.
Right.
So again,
and the idea was to get to make another film.
Yeah. As I say, the logic isn't logicking, and it makes me crazy. Just spend less money making these things, and then you don't have to be crazy about them. I don't get it. Yeah, I understand. Somebody just said that reboots of a show can sometimes feel like visiting old friends. I very much get that. There's a lot of comfort in seeing the people that we already love. It's just strange that this is where we're at, that they feel like that's the best option, is let's just keep rebooting things. I don't know. There's so many talented, interesting people with so many brilliant ideas.
Yeah.
And again, if you're somebody like us, if you love watching indies or if you love watching documentaries, you see such good stuff.
And so many good little films and not so little films slip through the cracks every year. People don't get to see it at all.
Yeah.
Like Young Woman in the Sea, which is not a great film, but a good film,
it's a good
solidly good, entertaining film. And being on Disney Plus is no,
it's huge,
curse,
but it's just But I don't get it.
At least that it's going to be available, unlike a lot of indie films that
just disappear.
Yeah.
Well, I keep finding, and it's not like it's a surprise, but I keep finding that there are so many movies and shows disappearing from certain platforms. And I only know this because there's a handful of things I like to watch with Daisy. And so, for example, Sing 2 was on Netflix, and that's where we used to watch it. I really like Sing 2. It's a lot of fun. I like it better than the first one. It moves faster, which is great for a small human being. And they start with the music, and the music is great. So I love watching that with her. Well, it's no longer on Netflix. It has now moved over to Amazon, which is where Sing 1 is located. But you have to keep up with where they go. And in some cases, they're just gone. In some cases, they're just gone forever. And obviously, because I also watch a lot of British stuff, my mom watches BritBox, but there's a show that a lot of friends have been recommending and I've been reading about. It's called Lost Boys and Fairies. That looks really great, and I really want to see it. And it's on BBC, and I keep trying to see how I'm going to find a way to watch it here.
Yeah.
I still
to answer a couple of queries.
Yeah.
No, I have not yet seen Ezra or the other one.
The other
Ghost
one.
Light.
There you go.
I'm going to see Ghost Light for sure.
Yeah.
And I will try to see Ezra. That's one directed by Tony Goldwyn, who's very busy these days.
He doesn't stop.
Yeah.
He really doesn't stop. He's very good on Hacks. Very good on Hacks.
And he's also very good in Law and Order.
Yeah.
Where he took Sam Waterston's place.
Which is crazy. Sam Waterston's not allowed to leave. We all need him. Multiple people are saying this is why we need physical media. Exactly.
All right. So there's,
that's right. This happen.
Yeah. I was doing an interview about MGM musicals with some fellows who are writing a book. And I was trying to do a little homework. So I pulled out my physical DVD, not a Blu-ray, but a DVD of Words and Music, the Rodgers and Hart non-biopic, because it's all made up. Starring
details.
Mickey Rooney as Richard Rodgers and Tom Drake as... Mickey Rooney as Lorenz Hart, Larry Hart, as they called him, and Tom Drake as Richard Rodgers. And they play so fast and loose with chronology and
which is why you always say, don't get your history from
the movies, old or new. And it stopped dead about halfway through. It stopped dead.
So he called a friend
and the friend said, yeah, Warner Home Video had that problem with their replication company for dual layer discs, and they've been replacing them for angry customers on a regular basis. And so I enjoyed the first half.
Yeah. But it was
Although,
just, you are out of control, Daddy.
Yeah.
You have so much going on your phone.
Yeah.
Is it hard being that popular?
I guess so.
It's difficult.
By the way, if you're interested in Rogers and Heart of Rogers and Hammerstein, you must read Mary Rogers' book, Cry, daughter of Richard Rogers. It is just one of the best reads, one of the best books I've enjoyed in the past year, and got a lot of attention. And it's a very candid memoir, very candid. And I'll leave it at that. It's called Cry. Read it.
What is the book you've been reading? You've been trying to get through? Yeah, he's gonna. This is our Parkinson's pill break, and we should call them and see if they'll sponsor us. We should call them and see. This is Leonard Maltin's Parkinson pill break. Let's keep him functioning, folks.
Dopamine for you and me.
Dopamine for all of us.
Well, there's a scene where Tom Drake, as Rogers, comes out of the Garrick Gaieties, their first Broadway show in 1925, and walks into a movie theater to see Camille with Greta Garbo, which was made in 1936.
Details.
And then when he's in the theater, they turned Camille into a silent movie. So strange. Anyway.
What is it that you've been reading? You have one thick book that you've been going through, that you've been dragging everywhere with you.
Oh, well, that's The Power Broker.
Yeah,
that's the Pulitzer Prize
winning. That's a big old book.
Book by Robert A. Caro.
Yeah.
Who was the subject of a movie last year with Robert Gottlieb, the two Roberts.
Yeah.
Called Turn Every Page. Great movie. That's a great documentary.
You loved that documentary.
That's a great documentary if you haven't seen it. About one of the most famous editors in publishing history and
one of his most famous writers whom he edits.
Who is now 91, I think.
Yeah.
Robert A. Caro, who's working on the 4th volume of his Lyndon B. Johnson biography.
Because we need more.
Anyway.
But you've been loving that.
I'm looking forward to Griffin Dunn's book. I've just ordered a copy.
Josh, did you watch Bratz? Did you see it? And did you like it? That's the new Brat Pack doc that Andrew did. And I'm very much intrigued. Somebody a while ago asked, because today is the Tonys. Tonight, I should say, are the Tonys. And I have it recorded. I'm very much looking forward to that. I have a really good friend who's in Merrily We Roll Along, and I'm very excited for her. And she's actually understudy to the lead actress. And so she does get to go on as one of the leads with Jonathan Groff and Daniel Radcliffe, which is really wild.
Great.
And then one of my best friends in the whole wide world is one of the producers for Cabaret this year. So he's going, and he's already won several Tonys, which is always really thrilling. Very smart. In his contract, it says he gets a statue. This is a thing.
Not a statue, but
what is it then? What would you call it?
Well, it's
an award, a statuette. What do you want to?
It's a kind of a plaque with a.
It's a plaque thing. There, that's better. It's a plaque thing.
It's an objet.
It's an objet d'art. And again, if you don't get that joke, I can't help. So he has it written in the contract that he gets one, because many times it will say, we're only giving you 3. So even if there are 700 producers, you're getting 3 physical award plaques, whatever the hell it is.
It spins.
It does spin.
It is a multi piece.
But yeah, he's very smart. He's very, very smart, and he makes sure he gets one. And I absolutely love that. 1 second. It's a paperweight. It is also, look, it is many things. It is a shape. It is an award. You can call it what you want. It all works. Did Leonard ever meet or encounter Steve McQueen?
No, sorry to say.
No Steve McQueen for him, though we have met the other Steve McQueen, Stephen McQueen, the director.
Yes.
1 second. Hi from Australia. Hello, Jimmy in Australia. With Disney handling physical media releases to Sony, do you think the Disney treasures have a chance of coming back?
Never say never. Anything is possible. But Sony is just going to be a distributor.
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to. I don't think they're going to initiate the releases.
We will always say this, just always, because it is what it is. I don't know why they don't re-release them. There's no reason. They just should, or put them on to D23 to Disney Plus. They just should. We have absolutely no control over it. We don't know why they don't do anything with them. It's dumb not to do anything with them, but that's all. And it's just, unfortunately, is what it is. I still wish you could do more. I just wish you could continue on and do more of them. Again, maybe one day, right? You have to dream.
You never know. Central Station is a great film. This is unrelated.
Did you see Central Station last night on TCM? And did the film make you cry? I did not see it last night on TCM.
I saw it when it was new, and I think we showed it in my class.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly, Ryan. Yeah, without Dick Cook, unfortunately. And look, this is true for books, for movies, for everything. When the person championing something leaves, it means either that the next person wants to get rid of things just to sort of put their stamp on it, which is a very normal thing that happens all the time. And they go, oh, so-and-so loved this, well, get rid of it. Also, just sometimes if you don't have that champion, then it's really hard to get, they may not want to continue doing it, and it is what it is. And as I say, unfortunately, we just have no control. I wish we did. Yeah, it's a shame.
Ken, I'm glad you have your Scarecrow of Romney Marsh.
Yeah, that one goes for that, and Zorro go for exorbitant amounts of money.
Yep. I'm happy that Sony bought Alamo Drafthouse. It means that there's an owner of Alamo Drafthouse.
Yeah, and so far
has deep pockets.
So far, they've said that they're not going to change anything. We'll see if that's the truth or not. We don't know, but for now, at least, it will appear. We'll see. Again, it's so strange to me. Everybody owning everybody. It's kind of like hotels a little bit, where you're like, I'm going to stay in a Hilton that's owned by this, that's owned by that, that's owned by that. At a certain point, you want to go, just name it all one thing. Just name it all one thing. Our joke always, because we used to live right next to Universal Studios, was that when you'd look, so when it became when it was owned CBS
by
Universal,
not NBC Universal.
Sorry, NBC Universal. They had it on the side of one of the tallest buildings. It said NBC Universal, and then it's now, what's the longer one? It's Comcast, and we just joked that they're just going to start wrapping it around the building. They're just going to start wrapping the whole sign because it can't all fit on one side. Hooray for everybody buying everybody. Any Dabney Coleman stories?
Nope.
Rest
not
in
a
peace. Womp womp. If sequels are so good, where's Ben-Hur 2 or the 11 or 12 commandments? That's the thing, Larry. People understand it's not a good idea. It is not a good idea, but they do it anyway. Again, look, if it wasn't all the time, then sequels would be fine. If there was something where people went, look, it's like seasons in television shows, right? You start to tell a story and then you go, oh, there's more to tell, so let's keep going. Where I think we continually hit walls is that you finish a movie, you finish a story, and then you go, let's add to it. You say, well, no, we did it. You put a bow and you put the bow on and you handed it to somebody and then they go,
to a conclusion.
Yeah. And then you went, merp, and forgot that. Very strange. Speaking of the Brat Pack, have there been actors who refuse to talk about movies that they feel harmed their careers? Tons of them. There are a lot. I think time can be good and bad.
Yeah.
Right. And in some cases, some people have sort of gotten over the feelings they had if they didn't like a movie that they made, whether it's a director, actor, writer, whatever. Sometimes they move past and they go, yeah, it wasn't great. It's over now. Other times they are bitter till the day they die, which is fine. You're allowed to be either one. So it happens.
Some actors and directors are more philosophical than others.
Yeah.
And some can admit to a failure.
Yeah.
Especially if they're successful now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It helps a lot if you are successful.
Yeah.
Doug's saying the Nicole Kidman AFI tribute is on TNT tomorrow night. You were there. Yes, he was.
Yes.
He was indeed.
With the advantage of editing, which they do for every one of those live events that are not broadcast live,
Yeah.
it ought to be terrific. The people who all spoke well, and obviously from the heart. They all really admire Nicole Kidman. Well, she's a terrific actress.
She is a terrific actress.
And she's daring.
Yeah.
She's very bold in her choices, and I admire that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, again, I can't imagine aging on film. Truly. I can't imagine what it's like to start working young and then quite literally see yourself get older. Go from playing a young person to playing someone old enough to have kids, to someone old enough to have grandkids, married, divorced, all the rest of it. And then your life is also playing out. Obviously, when she was with Tom Cruise, that was a whole thing. Thankfully, she seems very happy in her marriage, and she has, multiple children and all the rest of it. But I think to keep your sense of humor, which is, I think, the most Australian thing about her, is she's kept her sense of humor. And I think you have to, and it's the only way you survive.
Was it Nicole Kidman who told me about the tall poppy syndrome?
No, that was the guy. Was he in Avatar? Is that who it is? Sam
Worthington?
Yeah, he's the one that mentioned it. Yeah.
That if you start to stand out too much, like you're the tallest,
the Aussies go, poppies, no.
They cut you down to size.
Yeah. Okay, Shannon, this is the best question I've ever seen. Was Mr. Maltin ever asked to pose for Playgirl when they would do their TV host pictorials? God, I wish, Shannon. God, I wish. No one has asked to see a naked Leonard except my mother. And I don't think that's, in the cards. If only, if only.
And let's move on.
Yeah. Sony has many releases. They released the Man's Castle on Blu-ray.
Yes, which I've not yet seen. It's a wonderful movie. We have the insert card poster for right outside our bedroom.
Yeah.
Because Alice loves the film and loves that poster.
It's a great
with
poster.
Spencer Tracy and Loretta Young.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful film directed by Frank Borzage, the great romanticist of that era. Yes,
The Bike Riders is finally coming out next week. I just got my tickets for next weekend. Congratulations to you. There's a nice movie to look forward to. Not nice movie, a good movie to look forward to.
Nice is not the right word for that movie.
No, didn't mean it.
Jeff Nichols is one of my favorite current filmmakers. And he didn't let me down with this one.
No. Oh, man. Getting my friends to watch Mud in prep for seeing The Bike Riders. Any others you'd suggest? Mud is such a good movie. It's the only thing about it, and this is true for many of Jeff Nichols' films, it is, as my dad lovingly says, deliberately paced. I will say slow. It's slow. And so you really have to give it its time. It's quiet, it's quiet, but man, it's good. God, it's a good movie. And Matthew McConaughey has said more than once
he said to me.
He said to you, because you told him how much you loved it. And he said, that's the film I'm going to show my kids. It's one of the things he's proudest of. And he should be. Matthew McConaughey is a really good actor.
And when Jeff Nichols sent the script to Sam Shepard to play a supporting role, Sam Shepard, who of course is both actor and playwright, said, "Don't change a word."
Yeah, and you shouldn't. It's perfect. It really is. It's a fantastic film. So what else would you recommend? I mean, you like Take Shelter is, Take Shelter is a Jeff Nichols.
Yeah, you can tell because
again, it's also very slow. Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon is in all of his films.
Yeah, because if you can have that, why wouldn't you have that?
Janice Page, R.I.P. Janice Page, who made it to 102.
Kina Hura.
She self-published an autobiography several years ago, which I bought on Amazon, and I really enjoyed reading it. It's a very interesting book. She talks about her almost impossible to believe, but true story of how she got discovered in Hollywood was whooshed over to MGM, put under a 6-month contract. And the day it expired, she was bummed out and about to leave the property in Culver City when her agent called and took her to Warner Brothers to a soundstage where Delmer Daves was shooting Hollywood Canteen. He looked at her and said, "Great, she'll do," and signed a Warner Brothers contract. And she was, I think, still a teenager. She has some wonderful stories, and it's well worth reading.
There you go. Did you like the Viggo Mortensen Western, The Dead Don't Hurt? Unfortunately,
No.
he and my mom saw it and did not. And, Viggo is, in general, he's such an artist. He's really talented, and he cares very deeply about the movies, about books that he gets published. This is his life and his life's work.
Yeah. He's published a number of books of his artwork, his photography.
But he also publishes for others as well.
Yep.
But you didn't like it. It didn't work for you, which is unfortunate because you love Westerns. The stereophonic sound number from Silk Stockings is great. Yes, and she also tried to woo Archie Bunker away from Edith.
Yep.
Dare to say such things. My goodness.
She had several great opportunities. And one of them is that Cole Porter number, Stereophonic Sound, which I like very much.
Yeah.
And yes, and she was on not All in the Family. I think she was on Archie Bunker's Place, the follow-up, the spin-off show. I may be wrong.
Yeah.
Operator 13. I have a pin. I collect lapel pins. And I have a lapel pin for Operator 13, which I'm glad you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as a curio. I don't think
you and your curios.
Yeah, I don't think it's very good. But who am I?
Yeah.
The Mills Brothers are in it.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
Give us some Mills Brothers, and we're a very happy group.
Yeah.
A few folks are asking what we think the best Father's Day movies are. One that we always used to say that I haven't seen in such a long time. I'm afraid now, because you don't know what racisms, what inappropriatisms are in things. But we always used to say "My Father, the Hero."
With Gerard Depardieu.
Yep, and Katherine Heigl.
Yeah,
and we loved that movie. We really did.
Yep.
But I haven't seen it in a long time, and I should watch it again for fear of it having something terrible.
No, but it has that scene. I don't want to give away the scene.
Thank heaven for little girls. Yes, there are jokes in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do every time we like something, it's like, oh no, I have to make sure. I have to make sure there's something mortally wrong with the whole thing.
Well, there's always Life with Father with William Powell and Irene Dunn from the smash hit Broadway play that ran for years.
Yeah. To Kill a Mockingbird. That's an upper on Father's Day, right? That's a fun one to watch with the whole family.
I did start listening to the podcast, the TCM podcast.
Yeah.
Decoding John Ford.
Yeah.
But I was listening in bed, and I'm afraid I dozed off.
Yeah.
Not for lack of interest. It's very good.
For tiredness. Father of the Bride, Life with Father, 2 great classics.
Yes.
And
now we're talking about the 1950-51 movies with Spencer Tracy and Joan Bennett and Elizabeth Taylor.
Though I will say, I do think that Father of the Bride and Father of the Bride Part 2 with Steve Martin, I think those are both really wonderful
films. They're good films too.
I love them. They
very different in tone.
Yeah, completely.
Very different in tone.
Completely different, but wonderful. And I very much see those, Father of the Bride and Father of the Bride Part 2. Speaking of sequels that actually work, by the way, that sequel is mwah.
And so is the sequel, Father's Little Dividend.
Yeah. Such a good title. Yeah. Such a good title. But
yes, A Bear for Punishment with the 3 bears, Chuck Jones' 3 bears, including Junior Bear, voiced by the late great Stan Freberg.
Our beloved.
Yeah.
Our beloved Stan Freberg, man. Now there's a handful, I think. Again, we don't really, as silly as it is, we just don't really watch very many movies for things. So we don't tend to watch, it's my birthday, let's watch blank. Yeah. Oh, it's Father's Day, let's watch blank. We're sort of always just watching all of the time. And that kind of does it. I mean, again, my favorite movie is Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. It will always be my favorite movie. So there's never a bad time to put that on. I don't think.
Craig has done homework that I did not do mentally, and informs us that Janice Page was on All in the Family season 7 and returned to season 8 and was not on Archie Bunker's Place. Thank you for setting the record straight.
Yes, Jonathan, my paw. We say that one to each other. My paw. I love that. I miss Stan. He was so much
Stan
fun to be with.
Who was a childhood or boyhood hero of mine, and getting to call him my friend was one of the great privileges.
I'm laughing. I'm already laughing just because I'm thinking about being with him and the things that he would say and do. And then, of course, the fact that we are obsessed with his records and love listening to them. And they immediately, again, we do sing many of them to each other just in the day. We'll just bring them up because there's never a bad time to reference Stan Freberg. But man, Elderly Man River, by the way, is what everyone should listen to now when dealing with all of the things that you're not allowed to say and should say and can't say. Just listen to Elderly Man River. It's perfect.
It's wonderful. It's about a censor.
Yes.
From the radio network.
Listening to Old Man River.
Yeah.
And explaining all the things that you can't say.
Yeah.
Grammar, what have you. Yes.
Leave it at that.
Yes. So someone did mention, as we said in our post welcoming you guys today, it is, of course, Stan Laurel's birthday. Now, growing up, when people would ask me who was born on June 16th, that was all I really cared about. I said, I am born on Stan Laurel's birthday. As you can imagine, that is a lonely life again for me. People going, who? And so I've had to learn. So the other one I always mention is Tupac. So I share a birthday with Stan Laurel and Tupac. But Stan Laurel, we looked, would be 134 today. I wish he was here. I think one of the genuinely funny, the faces will always make me laugh. He had that part of what made him perfect at this is that it's that no winking at the camera.
Yeah.
He was that character. He was that sort of just dopey, sweet, always meaning well, wonderful. You're just wonderful. And he makes me smile.
One of the great advantages, I think, for performers like Stan and Ollie, or Stan and Babe, as he was known off camera, that there weren't talk shows then.
Yeah.
You did not have any knowledge of what those two men were like in real life. All you knew them for was the characters they created, and they never broke character.
That's right.
And that was a huge advantage.
Yeah.
That today's performers don't have.
Well, it is. I mean, again, I've been talking to friends about this. Obviously, the second part of Bridgerton season 3 has come on, and I watched it. My friends watched it, and we've talked about it. And the thing is, I mean, look, this is not a great show, right? This is not a fantastic show anyway. But what it is really entertaining fluff, and that's fun. But something that we've talked about is, my God, the amount of press that they have done for the new season of Bridgerton is overwhelming, and not in a good way. It's too much. And we've had to hear about every scene, how they shot, what they did, how they planned, everything. And then you watch it and it's fine. Again, Bridgerton is not anything spectacular. It's fine. As I say, it serves the exact purpose it's meant to serve. When Daisy falls asleep and I need to relax a little bit, I put Bridgerton on because it requires nothing of me. And we need that. We all need that. I said to Josh the other day, I said, it's a romance novel. If this was a different time, Fabio would be on the cover. Like, that's what this is. So again, I'm not expecting a lot, but the fact that they did so much press and are still doing so much press, it's like, Jesus, guys, back off. It's too much. It's too much. And then part of course, what's funny is people are going nuts over two of the actors in it, two of the lead actors in this particular season. People keep talking about how they want them to date in real life. Oh, they seem like they love each other. And the truth is, in the show, in my opinion, they don't have great chemistry. You don't see a lot. In person, they have more chemistry than they have on the show. So I think for some people, they're just like, I'm going to pretend that everything I've seen them do is as good here. It just didn't translate. So they say it's, this is the good and bad, right? People have Instagrams, they have TikToks, they have all of this. And it can be really fun feeling like you're getting to know someone.
Yeah.
It can be really fun feeling like you're hanging out. You get their sense of humor. There's certain people that are always going to be really fun on shows.
Yes.
And it's neat. It's neat to see them. At the same time, there's no way that actors from the before times could have the sort of mystique,
right?
Could have, as they play different characters.
It's one of the things I admire about Jack Nicholson.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Staying off the talk show circuit.
Yeah.
Staying out of that public microscope.
Yeah.
I think has been to his benefit.
But it's true. He does it if he wants to. No, Lynn, it was not you with the chemistry, and we can talk in detail about Bridgerton because this is making me nuts. Again, it's not like it matters. I just keep having really funny conversations with friends where we're all going, this is what you've hyped us up for. They spent more time. Clearly, I'm going to rant, but it's quick. Just this one really quick. They have spent more time talking about the sex that they had in the show than having sex in the show. We've had to hear in detail about the sex scenes in this show between especially these two characters. They've talked more about it than it happened in the show. It's ridiculous. Anyway.
Did you say collectible?
Collectible? Collectible. I gotta say, they did Bing Crosby dirty on that one.
No, I like it.
But Daddy.
It's a cartoon it's a cartoonish caricature.
I understand. In the
40s.
I understand. Still.
And the handle is a pipe.
No, it's clever. I always thought it was a golf club.
Yeah.
You're telling me that if you're Bing Crosby and you see this, you're thrilled?
It's a cartoon.
I know.
And it's based on a caricature by Don Barclay.
I know the whole thing. I stand by. If you're Bing Crosby and they hand you this, not thrilled.
Well,
not thrilled.
Then how do you think?
You're welcome. Paul says, thank you for my new nightmare. You get it, Paul. You get it.
And here is Bing's co-star in Going My Way and several other films, Barry Fitzgerald.
See, also slightly terrifying, but less. I also very much thought that was Bob Hope growing up because of the chin. Right? It's a Bob Hope chin. Even the nose, it looks like the caricature.
Well, speaking of Bob Hope.
You mean this guy? You understand why as a kid I thought this was just him, right? If you look at them next to each other, put them next to each other. See? I'm not crazy. But his has a cleft. You've given him a cleft on that one. Bob Hope. You deserve better, Bob.
These are all from the 1940s. And I treasure them.
They're beautiful. They're terrifying, but they're beautiful.
I don't know if there were more made. These are the three that I have.
Can't read that one at all anymore.
Found.
Yep.
And only one says Barclay.
Yeah.
Although this also says Barclay.
Yeah.
They're all by the same caricaturist. Who was Don Barclay? Well, if you're a fan of Mary Poppins, he is the adjutant to Admiral Boom. If you're a Little Rascals fan, he's the snooty chauffeur in Honky Donkey. He was a British comic actor.
Are those
that worked for Hal Roach?
Are those mugs right? Am I crazy?
They're from a different series.
No, I know that, but I'm just clarifying that those are also mugs.
Yeah.
Because while I get that those are meant to be caricature-y, those are much less upsetting, I feel. I'm gonna bring over Gabby Hayes. It is my birthday.
That's the worst of them.
I like that one.
Well, you can like it fine. I don't think that looks like Gabby. But
as I've mentioned, my dad, when he used to still carry a wallet, had a photo of me and had a photo of Gabby Hayes. Who did he love more? I never asked because I knew the answer. Okay. I like these mugs. I'll pull down.
These are all quake waxed down. So you got to be very careful.
Well, here, I'll give you these two. These are the least stuck. Got Gabby Hayes.
Now first show
Victor.
Robert Mitchum.
Robert Mitchum, sorry. Here's Robert Mitchum. This is a different series, but I'm showing you this because it's less terrifying. Here's Robert Mitchum with a gun handle. It's meant to look like a little gun here.
And here's Gabby, which is a sort of a free interpretation.
That is no freer an interpretation than those things over there.
Okay.
That is no freer, I tell you what.
Now these are part of a series.
Gabby Hayes, hand-painted, made in USA by James Warren.
James Warren was a B-movie actor who had a little flirtation with stardom in Westerns during the 1940s. And in fact, replaced Robert Mitchum at RKO.
The Nerve.
In the series of Zane Grey Westerns. And then retired to Hawaii, where Boyd Majors, editor-publisher of Western Clippings magazine, I'm sure you all get copies.
We all get Western Clippings. It's very popular.
When Boyd interviewed him in later years in Hawaii, all these were on the shelf behind him.
I love that. Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. He's wishing you happy Father's Day and me a happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Yes, Bob Hope did have a comic book.
Yep.
With DC Comics, and I used to read it. It was drawn by the same man who drew the Martin and Lewis comics, and then the Jerry Lewis comics, and then the Dobie Gillis comics, all of the funny comics that DC published that nobody remembers. And he lived in the same town that I grew up in, Teaneck, New Jersey. His name was Bob Oxner. Later drew Superman for a while. Very nice man.
Teaneck. Good people come out of Teaneck. Jimmy says, is it bad that I know or was introduced to most 1930s and 1940s celebrities through caricatures and Looney Tunes cartoons?
No, it's great.
No, Jimmy, that's how most of us met them. I love those caricatures. I love all of those cartoons, not just Looney Tunes. I love all of the cartoons that have the old actors, that have the caricatures of the actors in them. We have a number of cells around the house from various Some Such Things.
Yep. From Walt Disney's Mother Goose Goes Hollywood. Which
is one of the best, I think it's one of the best cartoons ever made, truly. And again, something that we quote, I'm Little Bo Peep and I've lost my shape, rarely I have. We just quote it to each other because it's funny. I love all of that. I love all of those caricatures. It's also, by the way, a lot of those cartoons is where we learned all of our classical music.
Yes.
So, they were educational. Don't let anybody tell you they weren't. They were educational.
That's right. And you'll be able to watch them soon, I think next week.
Yeah.
The week after on MeTV Tune, is that what they're calling it?
I have no idea.
Anyway.
You're the one that talked. I don't know nothing about nothing. But MeTV is very proud to be putting on cartoons, classic cartoons.
24/7.
Which is great and is basically your dream. That's what, if Leonard's not sleeping over the next couple of days, it's because he's sitting there watching that channel forever. Forever. Grim says, next movie guide on paperback, no more. We have not had movie guides since 2015, my friend. Sadly, coming up, next year will be 10 years. Really? That doesn't seem real.
Wow.
Oof. Yeah, I always say, look, the books will always be very precious to us and to me. They were a huge part of my life. Remember that they existed my whole life.
And the classic movie guide is very much still in print. The third edition.
Yep. But no, I will always love the movie guide. It was very important to me. We do still have, they're around and we see them, and friends are always sending photos because they always see them at yard sales, in secondhand shot, stuff like that. And I love that they find them all over the place. What was how many copies? Some millions of copies. 7 million. Yeah. They're around, which is wild, but very, very cool. And something we appreciate. Well, yeah, What's Opera Doc is another one of the greatest cartoons ever made. I don't know where. It's funny to me because they got away with so much more in cartoons than you ever could have in live action because it was cartoons. And I think that either they weren't monitored as closely or people just thought, oh, it's just a cartoon. So the jokes that are in cartoons are jokes they never could have told. They never would have gotten away with. And that's what makes them special. To me, they really are history lessons in a lot of cases.
Sure.
Oh,
sure. I learned about World War II. I learned about slang. I learned a lot about classical music and popular music too.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cartoons, they make us smarter. I'll stand by that. Cartoons make us smarter.
They do. They do.
And again, I mean, and that's the thing is that to this day, there's a handful of cartoons that exist that are topical. And you look back and you think, yep, this is right.
Was that trip really necessary? That was a World War II slogan.
Wow.
I learned that in the 50s, about the 40s. 50s and 60s, about the 40s.
That's wild, isn't it? It really is. I mean, that's there too. Disney has their war cartoons.
Oh, Edna May Oliver in cartoon form. That's The Hardship of Miles Standish. Love that cartoon. Edna May Oliver and Hugh Herbert.
Let's see when Me TV Tunes begins so we can get the right date. Let's see. Me TV. It doesn't show tunes. Show me tunes.
Well,
Me TV Tunes. That's when you can watch Me TV Tunes. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to go to their website. You can watch it on channel 27.1. Channel 27.1. Cable, our schedule. Weekdays at 8 a.m. So I think maybe it's on.
No. That's going to be their schedule.
Okay. You don't think it's now? It doesn't say coming weeknights. It just says the days.
I thought it was on June 25th that they were starting.
It could be, but it doesn't say so here. I don't think you're wrong. It's just not telling me. Either way, it'll happen soon. And there is a website here, Me TV Tunes, TOONS. So yeah, exciting for all of us who love our cartoons. Thank you guys, as always, for joining us. We really appreciate it. And hang on, Steven Spielberg calls One Froggy Night the Citizen Kane of all cartoons.
It's One Froggy Evening, but
yeah,
the point taken.
Not wrong. Not wrong. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for the birthday and Father's Day wishes. Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Everybody.
Even if you're not a father, happy Father's Day anyway.
Yeah, right.
We will see you next week. Everybody, please take care of yourselves.
And be kind. So long for now.